Hi felters and crafters and welcome, my name is Philippa. Last year I started my journey on trying to dye wool and I kept giving it a go and the colours came out nice, but they never came out how I wanted them to. I felt I had no control over it. So this year I went on a Lay Family Yarn dyeing retreat, so I learned a little bit more about how to do it. So I thought I'd give it a go and take you along with me. These are the wools that we're going to dye. I'll talk you through them in a minute, but let's get started. So we've got three fingering weight superwash merinos on the right there that I've purchased in. Then we've got a mix of others from my stash. Some of them are double knits and mini skein as well. Okay, so here is everything laid out. So I've got my wools, which I'm just going to cut down. I just briefly showed you them, showed you the makeup. I am going to include this one. It's a slightly darker one, but we're going to see it might give me a deeper colour, so that'll be really interesting. I have got all my dyes, although I ordered two new ones because I really liked the colours, and these are Jacquard acid dyes. I've got a teal and a mustard. I have got quite a few from World of Wool from a kit. Then I've got some other ones. They are all-in-one acid dyes, so you're not supposed to have to add extra things, you know, the citric acid, I'll show you that in a minute. And then I did get these are more so for when I do sheep wool colours. So I've got quite a few dyes now, building up stocks. These are things to mix the dyes in because you're not to use anything that you would use when eating. So you keep all of this stuff separate. This is kept separate. So this is the tray I'm going to cook it in the oven. But I've got these pots, but they're not quite big enough. So I've just cut down a plastic bottle. We're going to give that a go. I think it'll pour quite well. So I've got citric acid, and I did used to use vinegar and tried that all from the start. It didn't seem to work. So now I use the citric acid, and I've got gloves. This is my stirrer, so I can throw it away afterwards. So we'll put the wools in to soak first, and we're only going to be able to do 2 of these, and we're just going to do some, I think it's going to be 3 batches. I might put these in soaking in some water in just a separate pot ready, because it takes 20 minutes for the wool to soak up water. But yeah, we'll get started. It's going to be fun. So yeah, this is a nice tealy blue and a mustard yellow, and we're going to play around with those 2. I do have some lovely peonies up there which keep tempting me to do some pinks, but no, I'll stick to these to start with and see where we get to, and if I get bored then we'll do some other colours. And also just to note, I've got a towel down because dyes dye everything. I did used to do this in the utility, but the lighting is so bad, so it's a lovely bright sunny day, so hopefully the wool will dry nicely outside afterwards, but I'm going to give it a go in the kitchen, and hopefully I don't spill any. And then the oven is just behind me because I used to walk it across from the utility out there, and I was so worried I was going to trip with all the colours all dyed up. Right, so now we'll get started. I just cut off the tags. So these were from the Chester Wool Company. Fairly good prices. If you go to a wool show, you can sometimes get undyed yarn there as well, which is, I don't know, maybe a cheaper way. Oh, I forgot my plastic ties. I'm just going to go and run and get those. Okay, so I've got the plastic ties that you put around the end so that when it's all heated up, it's easy to just pull the plastic ties and turn them over. These are reusable. So just pop your wool open. I am going to leave these ties on because otherwise it would just be a complete mess. Anyway, let's just open these up. So they're quite big when you open them up. So I think for the dye to work really well, I'm only going to want to do 2 at a time in this little pan. Obviously proper wool dyers have much bigger pans. There you go, so that fits nicely. Let's open this one up. It's such a lovely day out there that I couldn't resist it. And those peonies are so pretty. Would I be able to get that pink? I don't know. I don't think so. Right, so that's how it's going to go. Actually, I'm just going to take them out, put a little bit, even though I'm just soaking it in water, I'm just going to put a little bit of citric acid because I need all the help I can get trying to get these dyes to take up really well. I'm just going to fill this with water. So at the moment, this is cold water, and then once we go for what we're actually gonna, when we're actually gonna start dyeing. I'm gonna put them in a little bit of water and then heat them up gently in the oven. I must turn the oven on. Right, you can see, right, it just floats to the top. Wool is so waterproof. It does not want to be soaked. And then I did this last time when I was filming it. I'll put that video up, I'll link it at the end, where I did a bit of dyeing during the day, and I did do actually some lovely pinks. But when you sort of open it up, I'll move the camera and show you, it's still not soaked in, even after it's been sitting there for like 15 minutes. So you really have to submerge it, leave it. And like I said, I think I'm going to get the other wools underway in another pan just so that they're ready and definitely soaked. Here, let me get the camera a bit closer. Here we go, look at this. That's all, obviously, that's not been soaked under, but what's been under? There, that's been under. Can you see that's all dry? That's all dry in there. And I've already pushed it under a couple of times. Let's try this one. Yeah, that's got a dry patch just in there. So it takes a good 20 minutes at least, and then just keep poking it down. A bit wonky. That's the problem. I'm trying to video and talk at the same time. Getting lots of little visits from dogs. I think they're expecting a treat. Right. Right, so that's all been squashed down there. Let's have a look. That's actually going in. There's white bits there. So right, squish it under and leave it for 20 minutes. Yeah, and the other thing is you can do wool dyeing in a saucepan on a hob, but I can't with this one because I've got induction hob, so it's not possible. But yeah, you can heat it up on the stove if you've got a saucepan that you're not going to use for anything else. I don't know how many I'm going to get in here. Right, stay neat. Or I could definitely get another one in here, that's good. So the reason I'm going to try and stick to the same colours is so that I can use all of these wools in the same project. I have got a fingering weight and some double knit, but I can hold the fingering weight double so that it will work just to, you know, be, what's the word, intentional about what I'm making, what I'm dyeing, because it's all good fun, you know, dyeing stuff, but you've got to know what you want to do with it. I think I could get the mini skein in there as well. I just had this in my stash. I had quite a few of these in my stash, and I bought the Chester Wool Company ones deliberately so that I could dye them up. And then I thought, oh, I've got some, so I might as well add them to it whilst I'm dyeing. There we go. So when you do the cooking, you do not want the water to boil, but you still want it to be pretty warm. I will look up the temperature. It's obviously hot enough that it would be a little bit too hot for your fingers. See, look, this is a slightly different colour. I don't know what these ones are. I got them, I think 1 or 2 were from the World of Wool advent calendar. That's nice. But the dyes will come out slightly different colours with these two, but still be recognisable within those colours, I think. That's good. Oh, that's just perfect. Every time I push down, there's bubbles coming out. So that must be still small air pockets. Right, leave these soaking, time for a cup of tea. So I'm going to have a quick bit of crochet with a nice cup of tea. This is my Emma Ball mug with the sheep on it. Really cute whilst we wait for the water to soak in. What I'm working on at the moment is the ripple stitch. It's a blanket tutorial off YouTube. It'll all be in my monthly vlog, but yeah, I'm really loving it. It's so pretty. So I've drained it out and I've just put a little bit of the citric acid in there. So I'm going to put some semi-warm water in, and then I'm going to put it in the oven for about 20 minutes. Now it says the temperature that you can cook wool at or to is about 190, 200. It's okay if it does boil a little bit, but you know, just keep it really hot, but not boiling is probably best. So I've made this slightly warm. You should not do sudden temperature changes with the wool. And I don't want too much in here because by the time I add the wool dye on top of it, there's going to be a lot more in there. So I've just put a little bit in the base. Let's just bring it over. Right. Try and do it neatly. One skein on either side. They do fit in perfectly in here. Right, so they had their soaking for 20 minutes. I feel it's all damp, all soaked in. Right, and so I'll put this in the oven, I don't know, for about 10. See, there's still a little bit there. Ooh. So there's a bit more water in there. So I'll put this in the oven to heat up. And then we'll start mixing the dyes, the exciting bit. So there we go, it's in the oven. I'm not going to show you the inside of my oven because it's not spotless, but it's not that bad. But yeah, in there for about 10-15 minutes. Can you hear that bird? It's been singing all morning, it's so pretty. Okay, so whilst we are waiting for the wool to finish, gloves on, and I think we can mix up the dye. I'm a bit worried about that toppling over. I'm going to be really careful with it. Maybe just leave it in the sink. But I want semi-warm water with it. Let me get the water first. So I've got a small amount in the bottom. I don't want tons. And, oh no, what was I doing? I was going to go yellow first because of the colour gradient. Oh, let's take that off anyway. Oh, can I leave that in there? Yep. Right, yellow first. I found my stirrer, which I had, and then this is just a little scoopy thing to get the amount out that you want. Now, you really don't need much. Something I learnt on the Lay Family Yarn Retreat was, yeah, you definitely only need a small amount. But you do, and I want this to be a nice strong colour, but you do have to mix it well because the longer you mix it, the more it dissolves. Oh, see, I don't even know. How do we know that's the right colour? Can you guys see that clearly? Look at that. So it looks orange. So what I'm going to do is get a piece of kitchen roll and just test the colour. Right, so don't know if this is the right thing to do, but I think this will be just interesting anyway to see. So that's come out quite bright yellow, not really mustardy. So I'm just going to put a bit more in and see if that changes it at all. It might not, but we'll see. So if I do the other end, my God, that looks even brighter. Oh, no, I think that looks better, actually. So that's going to make me just put a tiny bit more in. All the wool dyers out there watching me going, what are you doing? It's all good fun. Right, that's it. I'm not putting any more in. Right, let's check we're definitely in shot. Yes, you can see it. Okay, and the microphone's working and I press record. Yes. So, oh yeah, it's hot. There we go. Well done, Philippa. So I think I can touch this bit. What I'm going to do, that's warm, is I've seen people do a little ridge. Oh my God, that's hot. So I'm going to do that colour, the yellow up the top. Now I might well have too much, which is fine because I can use it. Oh my God, this is nerve-wracking. Because I can use it for the other ones. But what I want is for it to take just in that top section. Oh, I love it. And it's spilling down a bit, but that's okay. Right. Because we're going to put teal down there, but I really like the colour of it. Just make sure I definitely get the top. Oh, I love that. I love that colour. Brill. Right, rinse it out. There we go. Right, with that there, I'm going to mix up the blue over here. Can you see it enough? Just let's move this over a little bit. Remember, it's hot, Philippa. Right. There we go. Now, because I need to clean that. Because I did a lot of yellow, I'm going to do quite a bit of the blue because I want it to be really strong. Teal, rather, not blue. Let's stir it up. Can you see that? Wow. That is very much the colour I wanted it to be. Now I'm worried that the yellow is going to turn green. That's my only worry. Because I want it to be teal. Feel I've got too much dye, but let's go with that. Let's go with that bit there. Okay. Now I'm just going to prod this down so this white bit goes, but I don't want it to be green. I want it to be blue. Oh, it's spreading up there. The colours will lighten up, probably, when you wash it all out. So there will be a lightening. So we're going to put this back in, but we're going to do speckles on the top here in the blue. Just a few, not too many, because I don't want it to all come out. I just want to do some light speckles. But I definitely want to make sure this is all covered. It is. Let's just clean that. Let's just prod this bit down in the yellow. So what you want, oh, it's quite clear already, is the water to run clear. Do you see how that's spread? Let's get close, actually. So you see how that's spread a bit there? My barrier wasn't good enough. But hopefully I don't get too much green, but this is a lovely colour down here. Let's just turn that around. But you prod it under just to make sure it's definitely all soaked. Right, I'll keep you with me for this. No, I can't do that for the speckles. I'll do you back there, there you go. Right, so we're going to try and do some speckles. And speckles is literally a teeny amount. If you have a paintbrush, that is the easiest way to do it. Oh, that's a bit too much. And so with speckles, you just let them develop. You do a teeny amount and then you wait at least 30 seconds. Oh, that's not coming out. So I'm just dabbing it on my fingers. So if you had a little paintbrush, it would work really well. But I really don't want many. In fact, that's pretty much it. A couple more at the top. So, tiny bit of dabbing. Okay. That can go in the oven. Sorry, I just don't want to get it on my oven gloves. fine on this towel. Right, this can go in the oven, I'd say for 15 minutes, do you know, because it's taken quite well. So whilst that's in the oven, I've realised I can use this pan and it does fit in my oven, so that's really good. So I'm going to do these two. So the darker one, I want it to be all teal, so I've popped in the one that was slightly cream as well, and we're going to do a dilute teal and then sprinkle some teal over the top, see how that comes out. Right, so that's all warm in there, and then I'm just going to put all of this in here. This is going to be good. Don't flick everywhere. Right, and so I'm going to give that a little poke down. So to try and give it some sort of effect, I thought I'd do the light sprinkles, because this dark one, yeah, that dark one's not going to take it that well, but it's just going to have a different sort of tealy colour. I don't think as well I'm going to need to turn these. I don't know. I can probably, you can see how well that's taken. I can probably turn them in the water here. Oh, you see that's a nice deep colour. Oh yeah, you can see that big patch there. That's not taken very well. So I'll just mix up a bit more blue. Try and get that taking. Now, I don't think the sprinkles are going to work, but we will give it a try. I think it will just make it a stronger colour. Yeah, it's just making it a stronger colour. So let's just mix that in, and I'm happy with those two teals will come out very different. Let's get that in the oven, get the other one out, turn it over. Okay, that's come out steaming. Do the speckles. They're not too bad, they're staying, and that's what I want, is the speckles to stay. Right, I'll just turn it over. Is that touchable? Yes. Look how much. See all that white? Oh, that is a lot of white, isn't it? And the water is super clear, so that's fantastic from that point of view. It just shows you how much doesn't take. This is tricky. There we go. Oh wow. And turn it over. Whoops. Don't drop it. Turn it over. Do you know, it might end up with white bits on it still. Right, so I think that's pretty good. Keep the yellow up here, the blue down there. Hopefully this will work. Right. Try and create a little ridge. Don't think the ridge is going to work that well this time round because it's so wet. Right, I'm going to go yellow. Right, there we go up close. Speckles went a bit mad. It was looking good before. Hopefully it comes out all right. So this one is done. I'm going to go and rinse it out in the utility with a little bit of soap. You can see there, because this had plenty of room, and then I turned it and dyed it again. See, the water's run clear. I didn't need to sort of turn it like I do in the other pan. So we're going to rinse it, and then I'll hang this one out to dry. And then I'm going to do another yellow and then another mixture. I'll get started on one in here. And here they all are hung up on the line. So really pleased with the first two. These are the two darker colours, and you see that's the lighter sheen one. That's the dark, really dark beige one. So you can see that's darker than that one. We'll see them when they're dry. You can see the difference. These two were brilliant. Apart from there's quite a bit of white in it. I'll show you it a bit more in a minute, but I do, yeah, there it is. So there's quite a few patches of white, which is a little bit annoying. But these two were the first two that I did, and I think the colours have taken really well, and I'm so pleased that the speckles held, so really pleased that worked out. These wools were drying so quickly. This was the last one that you just saw me do, and it's definitely got a lot more green in it, so again, something to work on. That's the yellow that I have managed to save, and that's just the mini skein, which is the same as I did that in with that one just there, the last one. But yeah, I am really, really happy with those first two that I did, and they looked really good on the line, like super bright, super vibrant. But yeah, I'm just leaving these out to dry, and I'm sort of turning them quite a bit. But yeah, it's a bright sunny day, so they dry really quickly. So it's the next day. Here they are, all twisted up. I am super happy. So they dried really quickly because it was a hot day yesterday. Normally you would give wool at least 2 days to dry. And yeah, love them. So these are the two that I did together, the first two. And to be fair, I think these came out the best. Maybe it was because I definitely heated the wool up really thoroughly before I put the dyes in. See, this one I did with this mini skein, and it's come out really quite green, but you know there's greens in this as well, so it's not too dissimilar. The white is a little bit it's a little bit annoying, and I thought maybe I should go over and re-dye, but you know there's quite a bit of it and it's fine. I think it will just merge into the colours. This is the light cream one, and it's got a really nice sheen to it, lovely colour, really pleased with it. This is the darker brown one, and you know it's come out quite dull, but these were just skeins that I had. this was one that I put the yellow in and then I tried to do teal speckles and it just all merged into one and looked awful. So I put a load more yellow in and I've managed to save that at least, and that is usable in this sort of colour range. And then that's that 10 gram, I think it's a 10 gram one. Again, came out not much yellow in it, but very similar to that. So what have I learned? So I think I definitely need to buy the targeted wool when I want to do this, because this wool took up the colours really, really well. Definitely heat up the wool beforehand thoroughly, and maybe not use quite so much dye. I think possibility with this is I had too much dye. The yellow went on to the other side, and then when I added the blue, it went green. But give me 2 seconds. I'm going to cake one of these up and just do a little crochet swatch for you. Here are the 2 little samples that I've done. I've done a single crochet, really cute, and I used a teeny 3mm, and it's come up nice and tight, lovely. This is a double crochet with a 4, that's 5, that's a 5mm, and obviously a lot looser, a lot more open, a lot quicker actually. This one took a while. But what I do notice is the yellow really shows. I thought, there wasn't that much yellow, and it doesn't look so much as teal as it looks a little bit more green, really, quite a bit. But yeah, I love it. So really pleased with that. So I hope you enjoyed that. I am really pleased with some of the wools that I've dyed up, and I feel I've definitely improved, and I have a little bit more control over where the colours are going and how I want them to turn out. So I'm definitely going to give it another go in the future, but still be a little bit mindful over what I am dyeing this wool for. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any questions, pop them down below. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.